A guy I know spent 11 years doing everything right. Every promotion, every late night, every boring team meeting where he nodded like he cared. By his early 40s, he was making $95,000 a year, more money than anyone in his family had ever seen, and he was broker than when he started. Not because he was dumb, not because he had a casino problem, because he fell into the cleanest, most invisible trap ever built, one that doesn't feel like a trap at all. It feels like winning. Picture a pipe. Water goes in one end, water comes out the other. Simple, right? Now imagine someone installed 3 valves along that pipe without telling you. The first valve is labeled taxes, the second one says lifestyle, the third one says fees. Every time you push more water in, every time you get a raise, those valves quietly bleed off most of the extra pressure. By the time the water reaches you, reaches your actual savings, your actual freedom, it's a sad little drip. And the worst part, most people spend their whole careers pushing harder on the input side and never once look at the valves. Here's the first valve, taxes. And I want to be precise here because most people get this wrong and the mistake costs real money. Tax brackets are marginal. You pay 10% on the first chunk, 12% on the next, 22% above that. Sounds reasonable, but then you stack on state income tax, Social Security, Medicare, and suddenly that raise from $80,000 to $95,000 is getting hit at a marginal rate between 32% and 42% depending on where you live. That $15,000 raise, you're taking home maybe $9,000 of it. The government quietly kept the rest and nobody sent you a memo. Fine, $9,000 is still $9,000. Except then Valve 2 opens, lifestyle inflation, and this one is sneaky because it doesn't feel like a mistake, it feels like reward. You earned more, so you spend a little more. Better apartment, nicer car, restaurants instead of cooking, trips instead of staycations. None of these feel crazy, but here's what the data shows. Lifestyle expenditure tends to grow proportionally with income, which means within 12 to 18 months of a raise, most people have absorbed every dollar of it into their cost of living. The raise is gone, but the expense of life is still attached to you. Let me tell you about Marcus, 39 years old, spent his entire 30s becoming an excellent software engineer. His income went from $62,000 at 29 to $130,000 at 38. Classic success story. Except when he finally sat down with a financial advisor, you know what his net worth was? $47,000. 9 years of serious income growth. $47,000. He had a $680 a month car lease. His rent had scaled up 3 times. He had subscriptions he couldn't name if you asked him. Marcus wasn't irresponsible. Marcus was just running inside a system designed to capture every marginal dollar before he could do anything smart with it. His advisor told him something that hit like a brick. You've been optimizing for income. The wealthy optimize for the gap. The gap, that's the only number that actually matters. The distance between what comes in and what goes out. That gap is the only raw material wealth is ever built from. A $200,000 salary with a $198,000 lifestyle creates $2,000 of gap per year. A $60,000 salary with a $42,000 lifestyle creates $18,000 of gap. The person earning $60,000 is building 9 times more wealth annually than the person earning $200,000. The gap is the game. And here's the cruel part. Most people never see it happening, because every time income goes up, lifestyle matches it perfectly. The bars always rise together. The gap never grows. You feel like you're winning because the number on your paycheck keeps getting bigger, but your actual freedom, your actual options stay exactly the same. You're running faster on a treadmill that's also speeding up. Same position, more effort, zero progress on what actually matters. Like and subscribe. Here's the math you cannot argue with. 3 people, same age, 30, all starting from zero. Person A earns $60,000 and saves 25% of take-home, about $900 a month into a boring low-cost index fund at 7% average annual returns, hits $1 million around age 58. Done. Person B earns $120,000, double the salary, but saves only 10% because lifestyle expanded to match. Also about $900 a month invested, same outcome as person A, same retirement age, double the salary, identical result. Person C earns $120,000 and saves 25%, about $1,800 a month, hits $1 million at age 50, 8 years earlier. At 58, when the others are just crossing the finish line, person C has $2.3 million, same income as person B, completely different life. The only variable was the gap. Meet Claire. 44 marketing director earns $145,000, feels financially responsible, contributes 6% to her 401k to get the employer match. Nice apartment, good car, 1 or 2 vacations a year. Her friends think she's crushing it. Her 401k has $218,000, using the 4% withdrawal rule that generates $8,720 a year in retirement income. Add Social Security, she might reach $35,000 annually in retirement. She currently spends $110,000 a year. She has been earning 6 figures for 12 years and built a retirement that covers less than a third of her current spending. The salary trap didn't catch Claire by making her feel broke. It caught her by making her feel fine. And here's valve 3, fees. When you start earning more, the financial services industry notices. Suddenly you're being pitched wealth management accounts, whole life insurance, actively managed funds, structured products, all wrapped in language that sounds sophisticated and protective. The average actively managed fund charges between 0.7% and 1.2% in annual fees. On a $500,000 portfolio at 1% fees, that's $5,000 a year. Over 30 years with compounding, that fee drag can cost you more than $400,000 in lost growth. They don't show you that number in the pitch meeting. They show you charts and leather folders and a guy in a nice suit who calls you by your first name. Low-cost index funds with expense ratios under 0.05% outperform the expensive alternatives over any 20-year period. That's not an opinion. That's 5 decades of data. So what do you actually do? Step 1. Calculate your real savings rate right now, not what you think it is. Total amount invested last month divided by total take-home pay. If that number is below 20%, you are in the trap whether it feels like it or not. Step 2. The raise interception strategy. Every time you get a raise, automatically divert 75% of the after-tax increase straight into investments before it touches your lifestyle. Not 100% because some improvement is fine, but 75%. This is the only reliable way to grow the gap as income grows. Otherwise, lifestyle gravity takes all of it within a year. Step 3. Treat your fixed costs like enemies. Rent, car payments, subscriptions. These are the real danger. Discretionary spending is easy to cut when you need to. Fixed costs are locked in. Every time you upgrade to a more expensive apartment or sign a longer car lease, you are permanently reducing your gap until you actively unwind it. It feels like one decision. It's actually a multi-year financial commitment. Every door you open has a price that lasts longer than the excitement of opening it. Step 4. Automate everything. Don't rely on willpower. set up automatic transfers the day after your paycheck hits, make it impossible to spend the money because it's already gone before you see it. The best investors aren't the most disciplined people. They're the people who built systems that don't require discipline. The money moves while you're sleeping, while you're eating pizza, while you're watching TV, and one day you turn around and the number is enormous and you had nothing to do with it except not stopping it. The woman I opened with, the one who went from $45,000 to $95,000 and ended up broker than when she started, she's fine now, not because she got another raise, because one afternoon she ran the numbers and realized she had been optimizing entirely for the wrong variable for a decade. She froze her lifestyle, moved 75% of every future raise into investments, and got her savings rate from 7% to 22%. She didn't need more income. She needed to stop the valves from bleeding everything out. Now she checks her balance, takes a bite of whatever she's eating, and gives herself a quiet thumbs up. No drama, no confetti. Just the calm that comes from knowing the system is finally working for her instead of against her. Three things to remember. Your salary is not your wealth. It is the raw material. The conversion rate is your savings rate. Lifestyle inflation is not a character flaw. It's gravity. The only way to fight gravity is with an automated system because willpower is not a financial strategy, and the gap is the game. Build it early, protect it aggressively, and let compound interest do the work that no promotion ever will. Lazy investing built more fortune than salary chasing. The math doesn't lie. The only question is when you decide to start listening to it.